world, it's me, the CEO of SAO, the resident PGS Transformers expert as proclaimed by Meyer Burnett, or as most people know me, Kingtanic. Hello and welcome to all of my fellow weebs, imagination connoisseurs, otakus, and everyone a part of the Post-Geek Singularity to another episode of the Otaku Experience, the non-anime news show where we discuss the current goings-on in the manga and anime industry with our very uneducated opinions. Special thanks to Meyer Burnett, our all the great folks at the Burnett Network, and of course you, our viewers, for making the show possible. Okay, I bet okay, hang on. We got a couple of things, little housekeeping, okay? I bet you guys are probably wondering, Israel, why do you say the non-anime news show? Isn't that like what this is? I say that because while this is a show where we discuss the news in the anime and manga industry, of course, as you can see from all the previous episodes we've done so far, at the same time, I'm just as, if not more stupid than you. Like, wait, okay, stupid is that, okay, hang on, wait, let me think about this. I'm not calling you stupid. I'm calling us. Okay, what I'm saying is that I am not, don't take this as like journalism. I didn't take a journalism class. I'm not qualified to talk about this stuff. I don't do this on this. I'm still new at this, okay? I just talk about my stupid anime opinions all the time. And then for the past few weeks, we've been doing the Otaku Experience where I'm actually talking about the news. And then suddenly I have to give like a well-informed, educated opinion, okay? That's what that's about. No one's ever asked about that, but I just think, maybe you guys are always wondering it, but you're just too polite to ask. There you go. I answered the question. Also, another thing, let's get serious for a moment. As a creator on YouTube who's been doing this for a very long time, I try my best to find a happy medium. Because, when you listen to YouTubers give advice and things like that, some will say, oh, you got to please your audience. Your audience is your boss. Do this, do that for your audience, listen to your audience all the time. And then, on the other hand, you have people who are like, don't do anything that you're not interested in doing, only do the stuff that you want to do. And then the audience that's right for you will come to you. Well, what if, you do something that you want to do, but that's such a niche thing that your audience isn't wide enough to like warrant all the work you're putting into it? Or the opposite, where you're doing what your audience loves and they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing content. And you're like growing at this exponential rate, but then you're not happy with the content you're making. All this to say, I try to find that and strike that happy balance between the two, where I'm doing something that I'm interested in while at the same time listening to how the audience is responding to it and trying to find the best of both worlds where both of us are happy, where I'm having a good time making it and they're having a good time consuming the content. And I try to apply that same philosophy to the Otaku Experience. And so, as you know, these past few weeks, we've been trying something a little bit different, where it looks like this, where I'm in this small little box and the news story is up there and I'm more so reacting to the story rather than giving like a straight up talk about something. Like this isn't like CNN or something. Like this isn't like a news show where I'm like, hello, yes, this just in, breaking news. We have heard from Wyoming that, that's not me. Doesn't mean I don't want to do that type of stuff. Doesn't mean I'm opposed to doing that type of stuff, but that's not my first initial thing. Mainly because I don't think I'm really good at it. Like, I just don't think that like personally fits me. It fits someone great like, Meyer Burnett, who can talk about news and then, give his thoughts on it. It works great for people like John Campea or like Christian Harloff, yada, yada, yada. List goes on and on and on with those types of people. But then there's some other people, some of my favorite streamers who just react to stuff, who just literally, like I just said, they just react to the stories. There's so many political streamers and anime news and movie news people I watch where it's literally them in a box on Twitch or on YouTube and they just stream themselves reacting to the story with their chat. And I really enjoy that. And I felt that out of those two options, I felt that one applied to me a lot more than the other did. And so for the past few weeks, I've been trying this out. But I'll be honest, looking at the results over the past few weeks, looking at the views and the interactions, it's gone down. And I do want to acknowledge the fact that there seems to be maybe not, a huge majority, but it seems to be at least half of you guys are just not enjoying this new style, which is totally fine. You know, this is on the Burnett Work channel, where for years Rob and and now new shows like with Roberto, with Que Pasa PGS, or with Architects of Imagination, and, you know, all the other creators, where they do a certain type of format and it kind of all blends together and matches well. And they've garnered, you know, 60,000 plus audience members from doing that one thing. So it works, and that's that audience. And I noticed that when I was doing something similar to that, obviously with my own flair and my own twist to it, for the first probably 12, 13, 14 weeks of the Otaku Experience, we were seeing really good success. The views were steadily going up on average, and things like that. But as soon as we did this switch, I noticed that the interaction, the views, and the audience dropped off. At least a good chunk of them did. And so I'm going to try this. Okay, so this week we're going to continue, because maybe that was just a series of bad stories. You know, maybe people just weren't interested, and maybe it has nothing to do with the format, or maybe it does. So we're going to do this week. I think this will be the third or fourth week that we've done it this way. And then based on how this week goes, and I'm assuming it's probably going to be the same as it's been the past few weeks, we're going to not go completely back to the old format, but we're going to partially go back to the old format, where the really big stories I'm going to kind of go into ahead of time and research and give like a full like thing about it. And then the smaller stuff, or maybe the stories that drop like as maybe like right before I start filming and I didn't have time, or whatever the case may be, those will be the stories that I then react to, rather than try to explain to the audience. Because I think that might be a more happy medium. It's not that I didn't enjoy doing it the way before. Obviously, I wouldn't have done something for 3 months straight if I didn't enjoy it, you know, because I don't get paid for this. I don't know if you guys know this. I don't get paid. I just do this because I love doing it. And I'm just really passionate about it. But I kind of wanted to try something new that might be a little easier and more fun for me. But at the same time, I noticed that just wasn't as interesting to the audience. And maybe I'm wrong. Like I said, maybe that was just a series of bad stories for a few weeks in a row and no one cared. And so we're going to see. But just so you guys know, next week will probably be more of a hybrid of the two major styles we've done with the Otaku Experience so far. I know that was really long. I'm looking at how long I've been recording for. It's been 8 minutes. I'm sorry. I know most of you probably have skipped this. If you're watching the premiere, you probably left and you keep clicking back in to see if I'm done. Now I'm done. Okay, let's get into the stories. Okay, here we go. So first things first. Pokemon Company CEO Tsunekazu Ishihara steps down from head role at Creatures Inc. This is interesting. My first thought immediately is that this must have something to do with the reboot that's been coming. So maybe they were helping push along that reboot after Ash was as a character was retired, and they moved on to a new characters and things like that. And then maybe they were just trying to get that production going, and then they're just going to pass that off to someone else as a new CEO. Maybe not. I guess we'll see what this says here. All right. It says Ishihara founded the video game company. Oh, so this is the video game thing. This has nothing to do with the anime. Oh, I'm a buffoon. See, what did I tell you? What did I tell you? See, this is why I'm not qualified to do this. Okay, here we go. Okay. This week, Japanese video game studio Creatures Inc. announced that founder Tsunekazu Ishihara will be resigning from his executive director role at the company following his retirement as CEO on April 1st. Ishihara will continue to be the president and CEO of the Pokemon Company, a company founded in 1998 to oversee the Pokemon brand and in which Creatures Inc. invested heavily in the mid-1990s. For the past 2 decades, Creatures Inc. has worked alongside Game Freak and Nintendo on the Pokemon franchise as CG artists, bringing the 2D artwork into 3D when the series moved away from sprites. Creatures Inc. was enlisted to model all the Pokemon in Game Freak. For Game Freak, the video game company also developed Detective Pikachu game the Pokemon Ranger series of games, and more. Ishihara will continue on at Creatures Inc. in a supervisory role as founder, but ultimately has retired from the company he founded along with Satoru Iwata in 1995. And I assume that's about it. And they're just going to give some more details down here. That's okay. So that's interesting. Now I'm like super not qualified to talk about this because this has to do with video games. So I guess I'll just talk about this briefly. It seemed to me that he's just retiring, which is, hey, good for you. I mean, there's not really much commentary I can give. I'm not super educated in the anime fold. Or in the video game fold. I'm more educated in the anime and the manga fold, and I can talk more about that and what that means. With the video game industry, I don't really know. I can assume things, but at the same time, I don't want to be wrong. This is something more for DJ to talk about on Architects of Imagination or something like that. So I recommend, if you're super interested in this story, I would recommend listening to someone else talk about this who's a bit more qualified to talk about this story, because sadly, like I said, with the reaction format, I'm just trying to be like, I don't read the stories. I just read the headlines. And then I'm like, does that sound interesting? Okay, we'll save it. Whereas if I had like read into it, I probably wouldn't have chosen that just because it's not something I'm super qualified about. But I hope he has a great retirement. I hope the new CEO comes in and does some stuff. You know, the most surprising thing about that is I actually did not know there was a Detective Pikachu game. I thought that the Pokemon movie that they did, Detective Pikachu, I enjoyed that movie, but I thought that that was like them taking mega liberties with the IP, and they're like, what if we did like a detective movie? But as someone who wasn't allowed to watch Pokemon when they were a kid, obviously I have I'm not a source of like expertise. Don't listen to me. No credibility. Next topic. Anohana, the flower we saw that day, revamped stage play adaptation for 2023 show. Why? You guys know how I feel about this. I don't get this like urge that these people are having to just turn these things into plays. Because some of these plays I've heard are like genuinely really good. Like the Spirited Away play, I didn't get a chance to see it, but I heard that it was like really, really good. So hopefully we'll get to watch that sometime like on a streaming service or something, whether they put that on like Netflix or whatever. But yeah, but then there's other ones like Sword Art Online's play. You know, Sword Art Online, my favorite anime. That play is awful. I mean it like this. The production value is really, really good. The costuming looks really, really good. Everything in the production is great. My only problem is like they just straight up dub the actors with the anime audio, and then the actors just mouth the words. It's completely just it. And not to say that every show does that. Not to say that this show is going to do that, but so many of them do. Okay, I can't say that in good faith that so many of them do. Literally, I've only seen the one Sword Art Online thing that does that. And I forget if Demon Slayer did that too. I want to say yes, because I saw clips of that too. But either way, I don't get this. They don't really do much. They just straight up go, hey, what if we like did like the first season, but like as a stage play? And it's really not like super remarkable. But let's look at this. A Blast from the Past is getting a new cast. That rhymed. A stage play adaptation of Anohana, the flower we saw that day, which originally opened in February 2022, announced today that a revamp with a new director and ensemble is currently in the works. Oh, so is this a sequel or a reboot of? Bro, I didn't know we were getting reboots of plays. What is happening? This is getting so meta. Dude, this is like comedy. This is satire at this point. But scriptwriter Masafumi Hata has taken over the director role from Masanari Ujikawa for performances at Tokyo's Hakuhin-kan Theater from August 9th to 15th, which will give the script new life. Meiko Menma Honma actress Miura Ishikawa will also be making a return alongside with these fresh faces. And I'm assuming that, okay, so it's one returning actor. The way they say give the script new life, it sounds like they're going to keep the same script. So same actress, same play, new director, and then like new cast besides the one actress. I think that this could be interesting. I think this is more interesting because now you can like play with it. Like, okay, they already did it once. Like we saw the experiment happen. Now we can go, hey, we saw what worked. We saw what didn't. I'm a new director here, so I'm gonna, do what I do, put my own vision on things. We have one veteran actress who was in the original thing, and we're going to mix her with a bunch of new cast members. I think this is actually, okay, the headline, I didn't really find all that interesting, but the actual contents of the article, I'm actually intrigued. It would be interesting to compare the two. But yeah, Anohana, the only anime to make my brother cry. I actually haven't seen Anohana, if I'm going to be completely honest. Don't yell at me. The only reason I haven't seen it is because, guys, there's so much. You know how much anime is on my anime list, my plan to watch section? Dude, I have like 200 shows in there. There's only so many things I can watch. But anyways, I digress. Here's the next thing. Okay, so Oshinoko, obviously, biggest show airing right now, probably. Has the biggest influence. Came back this week. It took last week off. It's back this week. Obviously, there was a character with a duck face named Payon. And it was a really great scene in the anime where we're trying to get Ruby and what's her name? Kana, where they were trying to get them to like get noticed because they're trying to be idols. And so they did like this crazy workout dance. Well, they did it in real life. Take a look at this. This is just insanity. Look at this. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear anything, but oh my gosh, bro. That dude is ripped. Oh my gosh. I don't know if we can show this, bro. That's dude. This is like unironically. I was expecting this to be kind of cringe, bro. This is unironically fire. Where did she come from? Oh, let's go! Let's go! Let's go! All right. Anyways, that was that. Really interesting. Really funny. Kind of, it just puts like a positive thing on it. I'm glad that they're doing this. The production and like the meta stuff they're doing with Oshinoko for the marketing has been outstanding. But speaking of which, the lack of marketing and promotion and things like that. Look at this. I'll just read this headline while I take a sip of water. Yeah. What the heck, Studio Ghibli? Or Ghibli, as I'm been told, but I've been saying Ghibli my entire life. Studio Ghibli won't promote its newest movie, How Do You Live? The movie that Hayao Miyazaki came out of retirement to make. Y'all just ain't gonna market this? Why? Fans will go into Hayao Miyazaki's final film, How Do You Live, without any knowledge of what they will see other than the mysterious bird image. No. Fans won't go in to see this. Why? Because they're not going to market it. It's just going to be a poster. When this eventually comes to the States, no one's going to see this. Why? Because there's been no promotion. The cryptic teaser image of what appears to be a person wearing a bird-like costume is all the fans will get before Studio Ghibli's highly anticipated How Do You Live premieres. As reported by Unseen Japan, Studio Ghibli president Toshio Suzuki sat down for an interview for Bunji Shunju and revealed How Do You Live, the rumored last film of acclaimed film director Hayao Miyazaki, will not release any trailers nor any other promotional content. He explained, really, it's an issue of oversupply. From the perspective of the viewer, it's like they're taking away all the truly interesting parts. So since it's come to this, I thought we should just go with a single poster. The first and now only visual released on December 12th, 2022 will be the only thing fans will have to go off of until the movie releases next month. And they have like this interview. It's like a 30-minute interview. I wonder if like, yeah, they don't even have English captions, so I wouldn't even be able to know what they're saying. Since the visual is the only thing viewers have to go off of, the interviewer attempted to pry into the additional details, such as what the mysterious blue and white creature is. Suzuki, however, remained tight-lipped. Aside from the oversupply, the president also revealed Miyazaki played a role in his decision to withhold any other visuals. I've been doing movies since what? Nausicaa of the Valley of Wind? And that poster is the first thing Miyazaki Hayao has ever really praised me for, Suzuki said. He said, Suzuki-san, this is amazing. He said it was the best thing I've done. That served a hint. So let's just go with this. So no trailers. Absolutely no TV spots. We'll do it all. No newspaper ads. And then they go into the information about like what it's based on and things like that. Honestly, if this is just like artistic integrity, cool. Hey man, I respect that. If this is secretly just like a we don't have faith in our movie, or we don't have the budget to do the marketing or something like that, what an L move from Ghibli. I'm sorry. Look, you're going to have to, promote your thing if you expect your thing to succeed. I mean, maybe in Japan it's differently, but in America, bro, if okay, let's say this. Okay, let's say what would be an equivalent to that? Not like a Marvel movie because that's way too big, but let's say like a mid-range movie. Let's say the next movie from Quentin Tarantino. The next movie from Quentin Tarantino doesn't get anything besides a poster over a year before it releases. Or not over a year, about half a year to a year before it releases. And then they're like, yo, everyone's going to see this movie. But then no one does. And they're like, yo, why didn't anyone see this movie? It's because you didn't promote it. Yes, you're going to have to give away some plot elements. But look at trailers for movies like most recently Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse or the Avengers Endgame trailers, where they just straight up don't give you that many details about the movie. It's just very simple. They give you the basic, what you need to know. Usually it's stuff that has to do with the first act of the movie, or if it has more than that, they hide it so that way you genuinely don't know. And then when you go see the movie, you're seeing the things you saw in the trailer, but they don't play out in the way you thought, so you're still surprised. Just do that. This just shows me that they can't find skilled enough trailer creators and a marketing team to do this without spoiling everything. But at the same time, isn't this based off of a book? Like, people know the story. Anyways, that just seems kind of counterintuitive to me. Like, hey, listen, I have no doubt that the movie's going to be great because it's Hayao Miyazaki and it's Ghibli. So, but at the same time, this does scare me for the box office potential of this movie. Particularly in the American markets. When this comes over to the US, are they going to have an English dub trailer, or is Ghibli going to have control over that too and be like, no trailers, just release it? Like, that's just weird to me. Okay, anyways. So the My Hero Academia My Hero Academia's manga is taking a hiatus, and the creator has promised to push through after the hiatus. My Hero Academia's creator, Kohei Horikoshi, announces another hiatus for the series and promises to work hard when the manga comes back. Kohei Horikoshi delivers good and bad news about the state of his iconic superhero manga, My Hero Academia. Per comic book and Red Bean anime, the My Hero Academia series will be going on for another break as it draws toward its final chapters. The manga's creator Horikoshi stated in the most recent issue of Shonen Jump that he would be putting the series on a short hiatus, missing the June 11th issue of the magazine. I'll be taking another break. I'm so sorry. However, he also promised I'll be strong for the final sprint. When the series returns, the manga's next chapter will be released on June 4th, with the break coming afterward. Which means that by the time I'm filming this and by the time this episode's out, this is already in effect, and we'll see. I don't know if he's said when he's going to be coming back here. No, he didn't say anything. So I assume this is probably going to be like no more than like a few weeks, maybe a month. And then especially because it's in the final chapters, I assume that, they're going to get back to the production on the manga. I'm not caught up on the manga. I've been enjoying My Hero Academia with the anime, and I don't really know if I would want to, after watching 6 seasons of the anime, I don't know if I would want to hop in to the manga. Because, okay, so for example, I've watched Attack on Titan all the way through. When the final season part 2 came out last year, or no, it was the final season part 1 back in 2021. When that ended, I was like, how could they do this to me? And so I opened the manga, or, on digital. I read like 2 pages, and I was like, I can't do this. It's not the same. So I probably won't read it. So hopefully no one spoils it for me, because it's going to take 27 more years for this to freaking get animated at this rate, bro. I heard that they're trying to make the My Hero anime last like 10 years, which, we're already in like, what, year 6, year 7? So, hey, what is that, like 3 more seasons? Goodness gracious. Anyways. So we talked about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse getting a spin-off manga coming out. We talked about that last week. The movie came out since fantastic movie, by the way. My favorite movie of the year so far. And we have a little more information on that. I guess they were waiting for the release of the movie. So it says Spider-Man battles a teenage girl version of Doc Ock in the new manga. In this Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse manga spinoff, Doc Ock is balancing school and fighting pesky hero Spider-Man as a middle school girl. Who knew Spider-Man's Doc Ock would make for a cute middle school girl? As per Crunchyroll, Doc Ock, the villain in the Spider-Man comics, whose name derives from the mechanical tentacles erupting from his back, makes his Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse manga debut. But he looks a little different from his original comic book designs. Titled Spider-Man Octopus Girl, the spin-off manga follows Doc Ock's isekai journey when he wakes up from his coma in the body of a middle school girl named Otoha Okutamiya. Written by the My Hero Academia Vigilantes writer Hideyuki Furuhashi. Oh my gosh, that voice crack because I was yawning. And illustrator Betancourt. The manga launches on the digital Shonen Jump Plus app platform on June 20th. And there's a little bit of artwork right there. I'm fairly excited for this. I'm surprised that they're like going full on Japanese with this. I thought that they were going to write, like it was going to be like, you know, Doc Ock in an alternate universe as like a child girl who was just insanely smart and still evil. But it was going to be like the same characters. But it seems like they're doing a Japanese version, which is not surprising. But it's just not what I first thought of when I just thought that it was going to be like a typical Spider-Man comic, but with manga writers and manga artists. So that way, it would have that influence and it would feel different. Because one thing about the Spider-Verse movies is that every universe feels so incredibly different. And so I thought that that's just what they were going to go for here. But it looks like this is going to be an alternate universe where it is a Japanese thing. I wonder if they're going to make Spider-Man Japanese or if this girl's going to be Japanese and she has to travel to the States to fight Spider-Man or vice versa. That'll be interesting to see. Also, I wonder if they will reference the manga in Beyond the Spider-Verse, the next Spider-Verse movie, which is scheduled to come out next year. But from what we're hearing, it might get delayed. It's okay. It's okay because it'll be worth the wait. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they like reference that. And then we could be the few people who are like, I get that reference. Whereas the rest of the theater is like, what are they talking about? And it's like, bro, we read that manga. We talked about it on the Otaku Experience. Okay, anyways. So not last week, but a few weeks ago, we talked about how the MAPPA co-founder talked about how Dongwa may surpass anime. Dongwa, if you don't know, is Chinese animation. And he was talking about the pros and cons of Japanese animation and then Chinese animation. And he talked about why he thinks that Chinese animation may and or will surpass Japanese animation at some point. So I figured we might as well start talking a little bit about Chinese animation when it's like a major story. And this, I think, is a major story. So this is a manhwa, which is the Chinese version of a manga or a comic. Who Made Me a Princess is getting a Dongwa adaptation. Who Made Me a Princess is getting an animated adaptation in the form of a Dongwa Chinese anime. Studio colored pencil animation will be animating the series. The premiere date has been set for 2024. A teaser trailer was uploaded on IQIYI. The seventh popular ranked series this year's Annie-ranked manga we want to see animated list. Who Made Me a Princess is a webtoon based on a Korean novel by Pluto and illustrated by Spoon. So this is a Chinese webtoon based on a Korean novel that's now getting a Chinese animation. That's it. Fun fact, guys. Keep that in mind. Tabitoon serialized, and then they talk about a little bit there. And then we have a little synopsis here. The beautiful Athanasia was killed at the hands of her own biological father, Claude de Alger Obelia, the cold-blooded emperor. What? That is such a cool name. What is wrong with my name? Bro, I wish I had a name like Claude de Alger Obelia. Come on, dude. It's crazy. It's just a silly bedtime story until one woman wakes up to suddenly find she's become that unfortunate princess. She needs a plan to survive her doomed fate, and time is running out. Will she go with plan A, live as quietly as possible without being noticed by the infamous emperor? Plan B, collect enough money to escape the palace, or will she be stuck with plan C, sweet-talking her way into her father's good graces? Now, I know what you're thinking, Israel. Why the heck are you talking about this? Well, take a look at this. What is this called? Who Made Me a Princess? Dude, I wasn't going to talk about this until I saw this. This is one of the top 168 rated manga or manhwa of all time. Because it's a book, they rank it in with the manga list. The manga tab on my anime list just like encapsulates like webtoons, light novels, manga, things like that. And so this has an 8.45, dude. And this means, look, the members, it takes a lot for manga to get this. Usually manga readers are usually in like the low thousands to even the hundreds. This has been like read a lot. Is this over too? Yeah. Wow. So they can just do the whole thing. Wow. I am very interested to see this now. Like I'm super intrigued by this. So it'll be very interesting to see that. Okay. Let's move on to the next story. So obviously, Attack on Titan is, I was going to say Attack on Titan is ending, but let's just be real. Attack on Titan has no interest in ending anytime soon. Look, it's if Attack on Titan had any interest in ending, it would be over by now. Like they wouldn't have stretched out the final season into 3 parts, almost 4 parts over the course of 3 years. Like that's just ridiculous to me. But anyways, this is not like an Attack on Titan announcement or something. This is much stupider. Attack on Titan fan marries AI based on main character Eren Yeager. Okay. A Bronx mother of 2 virtually marries Eren Kartal, a chatbot she created with replica AI based on Attack on Titan protagonist Eren Yeager. In a stunning turn of events, Attack on Titan protagonist Eren Yeager stopped the rumbling to... Shut up. I'm not even reading this article because of that. That was so stupid. Look at this. Look at this art. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Are you proud of yourself? What is the freak is this girl's name? Are you proud of yourself, Rosanna Ramos? Are you proud of yourself? All right. Look at Eren. What they do to him? Goodness gracious. I hate everything. We're ending the Otaku Experience. I'm done being an anime fan. What the heck? This is... What? Okay. Moving on to the next thing. I thought it'd be funny. I ended up actually just being irritated by it. Okay. Next thing. One of the biggest anime and just IP in the anime and manga industry is Evangelion. Or I guess Evangelion. I don't know how you pronounce these things. I don't know. It's one of those shows. It's not that I haven't watched Evangelion. I just haven't finished Evangelion. I've started it. I just haven't finished it. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, I feel like every episode, like every topic is just me going, yeah, I haven't watched this. And then like, but here's my opinion on it. And then you're just like, Israel, shut up. Maybe that's why the views are dropping. Okay. Anyways. Evangelion 1.0 animation producer Yozakura Quartet scriptwriter Manabu Ishikawa passes away. Ishikawa served as animation producer for Evangelion 1.0, 2.0, Psycho-Pass 2, wrote scripts for Full Metal Alchemist. Anime scriptwriter and setting writer Mitsuyasu Sakai stated on Twitter on Friday that he learned on Thursday that producer and scriptwriter Manabu Ishikawa passed away. Town Agency Office PAC also confirmed Ishikawa's passing on Saturday. Neither gave a cause of death. Ishikawa worked as an animation producer on such anime as Evangelion 1.0, You Are Not Alone, Evangelion 2.0, You Cannot Advance, and Psycho-Pass Season 2, Yatterman, and Meromi-san. He was also a producer for the Yuki's Kaze OVA. He wrote the scripts or oversaw the script for such anime such as Full Metal Alchemist, Mononoke, Yozakura Quartet, Hana no Uta, and the Yozakura Quartet, Hoshi no Umi, and Yozakura Quartet. Okay, there's a lot of OVAs and things like that. Transformers Cybertron! Oh, dude, this show is so good. Our worlds are in danger. To save the galaxy, we must find the 4 cyber planet keys before the Decepticons use them for evil. It is our mission. Okay, did anyone watch that show? Show's fire. Anyways, sad to hear of this this passing, of his passing, because obviously, dude was busy. Dude worked on a lot of anime and shows that even if I haven't seen them, I've heard of them, and I have seen some of these, which shows me that this guy was very influential on a lot of what we see as anime. Like Evangelion is one of the most influential anime of all time. You know what I mean? And he was a production coordinator on Neon Genesis Evangelion. It says down there at the bottom. Like, dude, props. It sucks. Why is everybody passing away, dude? I feel like we talk about someone passing away like every other week on the show. It's so sad. Like, and I guess it's part of it. Like, because the industry's so big that since there's thousands of people working in the industry, you're just going to have that many, passing away over time. But man, it just feels like lately there's been like a thing going on. Like there's just been like so many. And it's just so sad that every week we have to talk about someone passing away, especially when it's like people like this who have been so influential in everything. It's ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, we have something stupid to talk about. As stupid as the Eren Yeager thing? No. Still stupid? Yes. Kind of funny? Yeah. So Spy Family fans can smell like a tsundere with Damien-inspired perfume. If you don't know what a tsundere is, basically a tsundere is like that girl in an anime who's like super mean to you, and in a lot of anime will like hit and abuse the protagonist, but it's because she likes him. That's a tsundere. And then like once like say they're put in like an awkward situation. Like, okay, here's the scenario. They're like locked in like what is it called? Like a shed, like a barn. Like, okay, they're putting up like basketballs, and in Japan, like where you put up all those things, like the equipment is like on the field, like outside of the school. And so they have to walk out there. And let's say the door closes on them and they get locked in there, and the girl's at tsundere. And so the dude's like, oh my gosh. And then she like starts getting feelings or something. And he like moves a little closer and things start to get really intimate between them. And then suddenly she like punches the dude. He flies 20 feet across the room. And then she's like, Baka. Like that's a tsundere. But it's secretly because she likes him. And then she'll go blush about it later. And then she'll be like, yo, why aren't you into me? And it's like, gee, I wonder why. Maybe because you hit me. Okay. Spy X Family. I love tsunderes, to be honest with you. They're my favorite. Okay. Spy X Family and perfume manufacturer Premaniacs collaborate on new collectible line of fragrances and scents inspired by Damien Desmond and Yuri. Spy Family's Damien Desmond has inspired his very own cologne fragrance. And then they talk about that down there. And here's the fragrances. Oh, and then Yuri, the guy who's like in love with his sister in Spy Family. It's weird. I kind of want to try it. Like maybe we should do that. Maybe I should buy this and then like we'll do like an unboxing segment on the Otaku Experience. I'll like put it on and I'll like smell it and I'll like bring my girlfriend over and I'll be like, do I smell like a tsundere? And then she'll just look at me and then she'll like walk out and leave. Maybe that's not a good idea. Okay. What is going on this week, bro? Like we got Eren AI marrying people. We got the freaking Oshinoko dancing. Like dude's booty cheeks was everywhere. Like that's crazy. Here's something that is crazy. Like genuinely speaking, this is something that has never happened. As far as I know, this is something that has never happened in the history of anime before. And if you know a time that it did, I would love to know that. So please let me know. So Oshinoko's theme song, Idol, is so fire. Okay, but here's the thing. The song, not only is it fire, it's been like breaking records, and it broke a new record. Yasobi's Oshinoko opening theme song hits #1 on Billboard global chart. Did you hear me? I said global. You know what that word says? That says global. You know what global means? It means the earth. It means everything. Bro. What the heck? It's no secret that Oshi no Ko is full with wild twists and turns, including the anime's latest opening theme song. Following the release of an English version of Idol by Yoasobi last month, the song officially made music history by being the first song originally in Japanese to reach #1 on the Billboard Global, excluding the United States chart. Dude. Look, Idol. Oh, they beat 50-50. Oh, Cupid's such a good song. I'm feeling lonely. Okay, I don't want to get copyrighted. And then she even topped like Miley Cyrus, Bad Bunny, Selena Gomez, Ariana. Dude, what the heck, bro? What the heck? How did they do this? That's crazy, bro. Wow. I don't think this is the greatest anime song ever written. I don't think this is even Yasobi's best opening they've ever done. I mean, it's up there. It's really, really good. It's up there. But dude, the fact that this anime has like been such a phenomenon, the likes of which you rarely see have such like an anime have such a cultural impact. It's like this almost rivals like Chainsaw Man's impact. I want to say it might even surpass it, bro. Like this is like a once every like 5 years anime influence. Like what the heck is going on with this? But speaking of, well, okay, I can't do any more segues. This is not a segue thing. But My Hero Academia is going on hiatus. Another thing that's going on hiatus is One Piece, which we've been talking about a lot lately. One Piece manga will go on a 4-week hiatus due to Eiichiro Oda's eye surgery. I hope he's okay. The official Twitter for One Piece has announced that the manga will be going on hiatus for 4 weeks due to Eiichiro Oda's eye surgery, and the hiatus will last from June 19th to July 10th. This year's Weekly Shonen Jump issue 29 to 32. It is scheduled to return on July 17th in Shonen Jump's 33rd issue. You can also see the official announcement and the messages below. So, Eiichiro explained that his astigmatism, described as a common eye problem that can make vision blurry or distorted, was interfering with his work, and said, "I will come back with improved eyesight." Okay, so cool. I'm glad to hear that. That's like scary, being like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna be in surgery. See y'all in like a month. Like, bro, thank God he's okay. Like, thank God it's just like a astigmatism. I mean, I hope. I mean, obviously the goal would be to not have that, but I mean, hopefully, I mean. I knew someone who like was working in construction, and they were putting in a nail. The nail dropped, spun around, and hit them in the eye, and they had to get surgery on their eye that way. So I mean, of the things that can happen to your eye, I mean, we wish you well, Oda. Have a safe recovery with the eye, and we look forward to seeing One Piece return. Another thing that broke records, so Idol, the Oshi no Ko song broke records. Another thing that broke records, Suzume. You thought we were done talking about Suzume? We aren't. Shut up. Israel's going to find a way to talk about it all the time because it's his second favorite film of the year, right behind Spider-Verse. So Suzume has become the first Japanese film ever to enter South Korea's all-time top 100 box office. Ever. Dude, what the heck? You're telling me Your Name couldn't do this? You're telling me Demon Slayer didn't do this? Like, bro, Suzume must have like caught on. It is undeniable that Suzume is a worldwide success, especially in Asia, where it has made most of its global box office gross. I know, it's ridiculous. Americans, why didn't you go see this movie? Horrible. I'll tell you why. Marketing. That's what's going to affect the Ghibli film that we talked about earlier. Through its historical run, it has smashed records in many countries, including South Korea, where today the Korean Film Council announced that Suzume has become the first Japanese film ever to enter into its domestic top 100 most attended films of all time, overtaking the 99th place from 2013's Cold Eyes. In South Korea, the top 100 films are based on attendance rather than box office gross. Oh. Well, that's kind of like an arbitrary... Like, why? That's not as cool. That's not as interesting. The top are based on attendance rather than box office. I mean, I guess that makes sense to a degree. Like, how many butts were in the seats versus, like, if you go see this in IMAX versus if you go see this in standard versus if you go see this on opening day versus if you see it in a matinee. I guess the money can be skewed, I guess. So maybe this is a good way to, like, okay. Actually, you know what? I changed my mind. I changed my opinion. Welcome to the Otaku Experience, the show where we can change opinions on things with new information and with retrospective. But that's actually interesting. that this is in the top 100 most attended films ever in Korea. That's really cool. Like, bro, out of the thousands of films that have released in Korea over time, you're telling me that Suzume is one of the top 100 most attended? That's crazy. Another thing that's crazy is Anime Expo is about to happen. Anime Expo. I wanted to go. I probably won't be able to this year. Maybe next year. Maybe something like that. I don't know. I keep going back and forth. I have this thing with conventions. There's just I look at them and I'm like, do I want to be sick for 2 weeks? No. Do I want to go in and smell like sweat forever? Do I want to bump into everybody because these things are getting packed out and they're like not letting people in who pay to be there? It's ridiculous. But anyways, Anime Expo is happening, and they have talked about, or I guess Aniplex has talked about its slate. There's been a few things that have come out over the thing. I'm assuming we'll get a deeper slate at some point. As we get closer to July, like a straight up full like Anime Expo official thing where they go through all the events. But right now we just have Aniplex's stuff. So disclaimer, Crunchyroll is an independent. Okay, sure. Aniplex has formally announced its slate of activities surrounding Anime Expo 2023, and the company is making sure fans of every one of its major franchises is well served. The event slate is detailed below. Starting with its first day of activities on Saturday, July 1st, will be the world premiere of Fate Strange Fake, Whispers of Dawn, where fans will be the first to see and experience a new Holy Grail war in the Western American city of Snowfield, with the English dub screening presented by Aniplex of America. The exclusive event happening at the main event stage will have special appearances by directors Shun Enokido and Takahito Sakazume. Then they talked about Mashal, which has been an anime that's been doing very well this current anime season. Later in the day, join Aniplex of America in Petrie Hall for Mashal Magic and Muscles panel with a special guest lineup featuring both the Japanese and English class of Mash Burnett, and Chiaki Kobayashi and Alex Lee. Then Disney is doing something with Twisted Wonderland, Disney and Aniplex. The event continues on Sunday, July 2nd, with Disney Twisted Wonderland panel at the main event stage, which will welcome voice actors Natsuki Hanai, Riddle Rosehearts, and Chiaki Kobayashi, Deuce Spade. Then they're obviously going to talk about Demon Slayer. That's airing right now. Huge. A lot of people are speculating that they're going to announce season 4, which I mean, at this point is just a given, but everybody's acting like this is a major deal. Demon Slayer fans can look forward to Aniplex of America's Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba special event at the main event stage play featuring guests including voice actors Natsuki Hanai, Tanjiro Kamado, Kengo Kawanishi, Muichiro Tokito, and Aniplex producer Yuma Takahashi. Then they're going to talk about some more Fate stuff. Fate Grand Order, which is that's the mobile game, I think. Which I don't really care about. So we're going to skip it because it's my show. What you going to do? Okay. Then they talk about the industry panel. On Monday, July 3rd, Aniplex continues its slate of events with A1 Pictures, where both companies will be teaming up for the ultimate joint industry panel in Petrie Hall with the Aniplex of America and A1 Pictures industry panel. Anime enthusiasts will be able to learn about Aniplex's 2023 anime lineup from the staff of Aniplex of America, followed by an exclusive behind-the-scenes look into anime production from the staff of the prestigious A1 Pictures studio. Then they're going to talk a little bit about My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999. They may announce a season 2 for that. Obviously, that show's airing right now and it's been doing very well. At the JW Platinum Ballroom, Aniplex of America will be bringing the My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999 event where voice actor Koki Uchiyama and Aniplex producer Masami Niwa will be appearing as guests. Obviously, the Rascal Does Not Dream of Sister Venturing Out film is coming out, and they're doing, I believe, a premiere of this at Anime Expo. And that's been a major thing that we've been talking about lately. And for the final event hosted by Aniplex of America, the esteemed studio behind Bocchi the Rock and My Dress Up Darling, Cloverworks will present the U.S. premiere of Rascal Does Not Dream of a Sister Venturing Out in the JW Platinum Ballroom. Fans of the popular series will be the first in the U.S. to watch the latest film from the anime adaptation of Hajime Kamoshida's Seishun Buta Yaro series published by Dengeki Bunko. Now, something I'm kind of sad to see as an Aniplex and A1 Pictures fan, I guess you could call me. It's an abusive relationship I'm in with them. But I'm kind of sad to see no Sword Art Online news of any kind, whether like they're talking about games or about a new anime season or maybe a spin-off, continuing Gun Gale, or maybe another movie. Like, I'm surprised they're not going to talk about anything like that, considering that's one of their largest IP. But in general, there's a lot of this stuff that like, okay, cool. I usually don't get super excited about these anime convention panels, unless it's something really cool, like with ReZero, where they like announced like that it was coming back, or if they announced something super crazy, like with a movie, like the Spy Family thing, or like an anime original something or other. Yeah, I mean, cool. I'm sure there's going to be some season 2s and 3s, and with Demon Slayer, probably a season 4 announcement here and there, which I am down to see because I like those shows. All right, guys, it's time to move in to the last part of the show, which is the anime audience rankings. And so we're going to start with anime trending as always. And starting at number 1 is Tengoku Daimakyo, which I've been seeing all over my Twitter timeline. I'm assuming this like latest episode has been peak. I have yet to watch it. So I got to catch up on that. And that went up 1 spot to number 1. Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury, went up 3 spots. It's back in the top 3. And it's back at number 2. Insomniacs After School went up 3 spots to number 3. Oh, I love Insomniacs After School. It's so good. 2 weeks at number 4 is Skip and Loafer, which is also, this has been like a really strong season for anime. I don't know if we talk about that enough, because usually when we're watching the season, I guess we think about like, I guess what the last thing we watched was, and we're like, yeah, it's all right. It happens at the same time, like when we get to the end of the year, we're like, yeah, it's an all right year. And then you like look at all the shows that came out and you're like, wow. It's like, watching the shows and just like watching the shows as they come out, you don't really think about it. But then when you have all the shows listed here, it's like, oh my gosh, this has been a really strong season so far. The Dangers in My Heart went up 2 spots to number 5. Kubo-san Won't Let Me Be Invisible, it went up 4 spots to number 6. It looks like the delay has been worth it, because every time since it came back, it's been in the top 10 and it just keeps going up. Why Ray Liana ended up at the Duke's Mansion went up 1 spot to number 7. My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999 is back in the top 10, and it's at number 8. Demon Slayer Swordsmith Village Arc has spent 2 weeks at number 9. I think the consensus is that this season has not been as strong as seasons 1 or 2, or the Mugen Train movie. It's probably been the weakest this has been so far. Tonikawa Over the Moon for You season 2 has popped into the top 10. It looks like for the first time. I mean, it says new. It doesn't say re-entry, so I assume this is the first time it's popped in for anime trending. And it popped in at number 10, which is good. I love Tonikawa. Tonikawa is so cute and so freaking wholesome. Then we move over to the Anime Corner rankings. And at number 1, same thing. We have Tengoku Daimakyo at number 1, and it's a re-entry, and it got 12.4% of the vote. Then we got Loving Yamada-kun at level 999, which is and these are all new entries actually. And it's got 10.98% of the vote. Hell's Paradise got 10.32% of the vote. Why are these all new entries? Did they take a break? Either way, I guess we'll just take a look at this, however it is. Konosuba at number 4 got 8.16% of the vote. I Got a Cheat Skill in Another World and Became Unrivaled in the Real World 2 got a 6.9% of the vote, and it's at number 5. My Home Hero, that's an anime I haven't heard of in a while. Like, I watched the first episode, thought it was meh, so I moved on from it, and I haven't really heard anyone talk about it. This is the first time I'm hearing about it in weeks, like since it aired. And that's at number 6, and it got 5.55% of the vote. Demon Slayer. The Dangers in My Heart is at number 7, and that got 5.39% of the vote. Kamikatsu, Working for God in a Godless World, is at number 8, and that got 4.23% of the vote. The Ancient Magus Bride Season 2 is at number 9, and that got 4.19% of the vote. And Skip and Loafer is at number 10, and that got 4.17% of the vote. Something I think is interesting is that 2 and 3 are basically tied. Like, these are slim things. It just shows how, like, how like these top three are like really competing. Like it looks like these are all very similar in qualities. Like these have all just been killing it lately. I think something that not many of us expected this entire season was how big of a thing Loving Yamada-kun was going to be. I don't think any of us expected it to be like in the top 5 like every week, which it's been doing. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of the Otaku Experience. Keep in mind that next week we're going to, I guess, kind of go back to the way things were, but in a partial way while keeping elements of this as well. And that's going to be super interesting. If you want to keep watching the Burnett work, we have great shows like Robservations, the show Rob does multiple times throughout the week. We have Ladies of the PGS. We have the other shows that Artem hosts because she hosts like 57 different shows. She's a busy lady. She's always doing stuff. I'm always seeing her live on something and I'm like, bro, do you sleep? Like, do you take a break? Such a hard worker. Everybody give props to her. DJ's hosting a show, Architects of Imagination. Lana Ewan drops a new review every week about a classical horror film that you may not have seen. We have Que Pasa PGS. We have the member chats. On the weekends, we have Midnight Musings. We have Let's Get Physical Media, and so many other things that are on and will continue to come on to the Burnett because the show just keeps on growing. If you want to follow me, you can subscribe to my main channel, Kingtanic. It's where I talk about anime in a more basically in the content. It's similar, but it's different. You kind of have to just go over there and figure it out for yourself. You can follow me on Twitter at Kingtanic Israel. You can follow me on Instagram at Kingtanic. Or you can always check me out here on the Burnett Work Thursdays at 2 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time or 5 p.m. Eastern, hosting the Otaku Experience. I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching this episode. And yeah.